Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and I'm truly excited about this episode. We have Coach Jeff Traylor on with us, an amazing man doing some great stuff, making a positive difference in lots of lives. And so first, I just want to say, Coach, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Appreciate y'all having me. It's an honor.
Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. I know off air, we talked a little bit about your journey, but if you don't mind sharing, some of your backstory, your journey, so the audience have an idea of who you are and what it is you do.
Yeah, I was born in East Texas, Marshall, Texas, and graduated from Gilmer High School. That's where I played. My mom and dad taught. Graduated from Austin State University and started at Big Sandy. I was a head basketball coach there I was there for 4 years. Then I went to Jacksonville, worked for Danny Long for 6 years, where I was very blessed. We had some great quarterbacks in Randy McCowan, Josh McCown, and Luke McCowan, and those guys won us a bunch of games. I got hired at Gilmer in 2000, so I went back home as the head coach. They hadn't had a lot of success there for a while, and we were fortunate and had some great players, and won a state championship there in 2004 and won another one in 2009, won another one in 2014. Had a great 15-year run there. It was a lot of fun. Charlie Strong called me in 2014 and hired me at the University of Texas. So jumped into the crazy world of college football and worked for Charlie for a few years. Went to SMU with Coach Morris. Then went to Arkansas and worked for him there. And then Dr. Campos and President Amy hired me December 9, 2019 at UTSA. And it's been a fast and furious, crazy 3 years. But, man, what a fun ride it's been.
It's good stuff. Really neat journey. Some people, Coach Long, he was our AD here in Conroe. Great man. Love that guy. You've crossed paths with a lot of people that I've crossed paths with. And I said this off air. I'm going to make sure I say this too. They've had nothing but great things to say about how you do what you do and the person that you are. It's no surprise that the success has been what it's been because of who you are and how you've done that. And Coach, I just want to, show you some love, send a shout out to you on that, and just, let you know that really rooting for you.
Danny was huge for my career because when I came to work for him, I was a guy that laughed and had a lot of fun with my kids, and I cried. I loved basketball, and I loved to throw the ball. I was kind of considered like a young, I was frowned upon actually, early 90s, wanting to throw the ball all the time, loving basketball, and I loved to go in the gym. And I was a basketball coach as well. And, if you weren't running the wishbone or the veer or power eye, you were looked at as kind of weird. And I always saw the game differently. And Danny was huge for me. He let me know it was okay to laugh and have fun and cry. And Danny loved to throw the ball, and he loved basketball players. And that's probably why he hired me more than anything, was to get those basketball kids out of the gym to come catch the ball for us. Mm-hmm. And so I owe a lot of my career to Coach Long and his belief in me. He was hard on me. And I was always his associate head coach. And what I told him was all that meant was I did every job he didn't want to do. Now he says he was trying to prepare me to be a head coach, but I just think he didn't want to mow the field and do all the equipment and all the stuff he made me do.
That's good. I love it. That's good stuff. But you learned though, right? You learned.
No, I was prepared. There's no doubt I was prepared. And I didn't think he knew a dang thing when I worked for him. And then when I became the head coach, he got smarter every day. And I used to call him all the time. Like, how'd you handle this situation? How'd you handle this situation?
Yeah.
Crazy what you don't know until you get in there. And I thought I knew everything. And all I didn't know anything at the time. But luckily, my players have bailed me out a million times. They continue to this day doing that.
And I think that's really the beauty of it, Coach, is you build those relationships with people, and it's always great when you can call somebody and say, "Hey, how'd you do that? Can you help me with this?" But then also, like you said, you put the work in and build that trust and relationship with your kids too. Well, it don't matter. I got you. Like, no, it don't matter. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Period.
That's the hardest deal is that loving your players unconditionally. It doesn't mean they get the ball. It doesn't mean they play all the time. It doesn't mean they start. They might even be suspended. But that doesn't mean you don't love them unconditionally. I mean, that should not change. It should not be conditional. It should always be unconditional. Now, I've had guys challenge me on that before, like, well, if I'm your guy, then why am I not starting? Why am I not getting the ball more? I'm like, whoa now. That doesn't mean that I still don't love you. I mean, your play hasn't warranted enough to earn the ball, or maybe your behavior has been so offensive that you're punished right now. So you don't earn the right to put the jersey on this week. But it doesn't mean I don't love you the same. I still love you the same. I'm not going to treat you any different. I'm still going to text you and talk to you as long as you're respectful. It's going to work both ways. So that's something that's always difficult when you're a player's coach. Is what everybody calls me, because I love my guys, and I do take care of them to the very end. And doesn't mean they're going to always get what they want, but they can never question my love for them.
Yeah, Coach, kind of what you talked about earlier with the whole discipline piece, that made me think about my mama back in the day. And she say, boy, when she say, boy, that's just serious, right? I know she know my name. She gave me my name. But she say, boy, hey, I whooped you because I loved you.
Yep. Ain't no doubt. If I tell mine all the time, if I wasn't on you, that's when you should be concerned.
Yes.
As long as I'm on you, that means you're in good standing.
No doubt. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you accomplished in your life, Coach. What are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
I've been married to my wife for 31 years, and
that's awesome.
Met Carrie at SMU and Arkansas State back in the 80s, and we've been together for a minute now, and it's not easy nowadays. Marriage is hard, and so I'm proud of that. We raised three amazing children. Jordan's 29 years old. Coaches for the New Orleans Saints. Coached their tight ends. He's going on year 5 there. I'm really proud of him. He just got married to Jeff Traylor, which blows my mind. My baby's old enough to be married, but my middle son, Jake, is about to be 26 and works for NBC. And he's an embed for one of the 8, whoever one of the 8 presidential candidates are. He's going to follow those guys around, whichever one he gets selected to follow. So it's a really big honor in NBC to be doing that. And my baby girl, JC, she works for NBC as well. She's a page for 30 Rock, and they live in Manhattan together. And so I've got pretty amazing. I was raised in Gilmer, Texas, and I got a child that works for the Saints, and I got 2 other ones working for NBC. So the Lord is good. There's no doubt, Jeff. And that just shows you, again, back to my wife, what amazing mother she's been and wife. And then thirdly, I'd say, I've coached now for 33 years. And the relationships, my players in Big Sandy still have my back. My ones in Jacksonville still do. The ones in Gilmer, University of Texas, SMU, Arkansas, UTSA, and even many recruits that I might not have gotten. Those guys have still always had my back. Like, I always get information from somebody that said, man, they dealt with this person and this person said this about you. And that makes you feel good, because there's still crazy people in this world. There's still just people that will attack you for no reason in the world. And I had somebody the other day, they catfished one of my recruits. They were acting like they were somebody else, and they really weren't. They had a fake number. They were using a fake name. Mm-hmm. And I just told the recruit, I'm like, look, man, I'm not going to get into all this nonsense. I've been doing this 33 years. You can talk to all my players, and you decide. And so I'm really proud of that my kids for 33 years have always had my back.
So good. Man, that's awesome, Coach. I'm still thinking about the kid thing. What an honor to be like those things just don't happen, right? But what an honor to be able to, have parents that they can look up to and learn how to work, learn how to treat people, or learn what it means to have a goal and go to work at it and make it happen. Like those kind of things. That's good stuff.
I am proud of them. That's something Carrie and I
Yeah.
have always just naturally been able to do. We've always been in alignment on how to raise kids.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, Jake, and JC all graduated from A&M. So I've had 3 Aggies down there, and it's a special place. That university does a fantastic job of developing, students and my children. And I'll always be grateful to that university for how they helped raise my kids.
Love it, love it. Well, just hearing you talk about your journey, or hearing you discuss the things that you're proud of, I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's touch on success, Coach. What is your definition of success?
Well, I told you I was a basketball guy, and so early I dove into John Wooden, and his definition of success I've kind of stolen, which is just a peace of mind of knowing you did your very best. I mean, you did your best, and I've stolen a lot of that stuff from Coach Wooden. We don't talk about winning and losing here at the UTSA. I never have at any start, and I've had parents gripe about it as long as I've ever coached. Like, why do they keep score? Well, obviously we're trying to win the game. We're not focusing on winning the game. We're focusing on doing our very best. And we feel like if we've got enough great coaches, which we do, and we got enough great players, which we do, if all of us are doing our best the entire time, we're probably going to win a whole lot more than we're going to lose. And it just gets the focus off of who doesn't want to make the free throw, or who doesn't want to make the 8-foot putt? Who doesn't want to make the game-winning field goal, right? Well, if you go up there and the whole time all you're thinking about is making it or missing it, no, trust your fundamentals. Put your best swing on the golf ball. Put your best shot on the basketball. Put your best swing on your kicking leg.
Come on.
And let it rip, man.
Yeah.
And if we make it, we make it. So that's my definition, but it's stolen straight from John Wooden.
That's a great one to steal it from, too. So what I want to do with you now, Coach, is just I was going to say now to the fun part, but it's all been fun for me. But now to the funner part, I guess. What I want to do is just throw like 3 words or 3 phrases at you, and you just talk about what comes to mind or to heart when you hear these. You good with that?
Okay.
All right. So the first phrase is being the example.
Do you mean how that would mean for me, or like who I think of when I hear that?
Well, I'm going to just tell you where I got it from. When I look at you, Coach, and the things that you've done, man, you one heck of an example, right? And so in order to know that, to be that example, what are some things that people would need to know to be the example?
Yeah, I just think the influence you have on other people, your athletes, especially in the state of Texas, in the South, or anywhere in America, we're just put on such a pedestal, and there's a responsibility there because so many people are watching you. And my mother's a 40-year educator, and so is my father. And both of them always reminded me, and there have been many times in my life, Chip, where I was not a great example on the sideline, especially as a young head high school coach. I had so much pressure going back home. I really did not do a great job of modeling the way you should behave towards officials. And that's something I've really worked on through my career, to your point, is we need to set an example. And today it's even more important because of the lack of the respect for police, lack of respect for anybody in leadership position right now. We've just become so volatile as a country that I think it's more important than ever that you might not agree with the situation, but to handle it with class, to handle it the right way, to be that example for our younger kids. Like I was working out a while ago, and the big debate right now is Ja, and should he be suspended? Should he not be suspended? And, that's a touchy situation. But again, I'm not going to get into how I feel, but I am going to get into that he is an example, right? Like there are kids looking to him. So there's an extra responsibility that comes with that. And the old saying, the higher up the ladder of success you climb, the more your butt's exposed. And you got to be the example. And when you're wrong, just say you were wrong and let everybody know that I'm an imperfect coach, coaching imperfect people. There's going to be imperfection. Like our deal here, Chip, is our hashtag 210 triangle of toughness. That's our brand, right? Well, what is branding? Branding is when you present a certain image and your identity, they line up. That's what branding is. So if you're going to wear a tattoo that has a cross on it, that's your image. Your image is you obviously believe in Jesus, or you wouldn't have a cross on your arm. Well, if you're not living that way and that's not your identity, then that's not a brand. That's a hypocrite, right? So we all have some slight hypocrisy in us because none of us are perfect. But we have a responsibility to the people looking up to us to set an example for them.
Hey, Coach, I got one word in response to what you just said, and that word is boom.
Well, that's a lot of years of practice and a lot of years of screwing it up too.
But I think, Coach, truth be told, like some of the best leaders that I've had and I'm truly grateful for are the ones that say, hey man, I messed that up. That was me. Just like you said. And that made me see that, because I was taught, you're going to be respectful, right? You're going to respect, your authority. You're going to do that. But it showed me that they were real, and it didn't put pressure on me to just strive to be perfect. Just be you.
Yeah.
Be the best version of you.
You're right.
I love it. I love it. Well, the next one kind of ties into a little bit of that, what we talked about. The next phrase, Coach, is living and learning.
Yeah. I just got through doing an evaluation of one of my coaches. And, you got to be able to self-reflect. I think it's probably, if not the greatest or most important tool to you being all that you can be, is be able to look at yourself correctly. And you need to have some peers around you that can help you, that you trust, that they really will tell you the truth, and evaluate yourself correctly. And then I'm a big believer, Chip. I take all criticism to heart. I literally, if I'm criticized in any way, I'm going to evaluate the criticism. Or a lot of people just brush off all criticism, or I don't. I listen, I evaluate, I either admit they were right or I dismiss and say they were wrong. Usually speak to a few mentors, and then I pull my scalp back, put a smile back on my face, and I never lose my swag, man. You can't quit believing in yourself, man. You got to get back on the horse and ride again. So if you don't evaluate, though, you're never going to learn. And if you never ever are wrong, you're probably not having the right peer group around you, because there's not a perfect person on this earth, and there's no way you're handling every situation correctly. But when you say live and learn, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Your ability to self-evaluate, but never lose your swag.
I love that. Get back on the horse. I like that.
Gotta get back on.
Let's go, baby. Well, the last one, Coach, I'm going to pause a little bit before I give you this one. I'm going to warn you, hey, this is the good one right here, so get ready. The last one I'm going to give you, Coach, is legacy.
Oh, I'm going to shock you with this one, because I argue with my players all the time. It'd probably be Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. We argue like, my quarterback, Frank Harris, and he loves the Lakers and I love the Celtics. So we always going back and forth with each other. And, I know it's silly what I'm talking about, but you talk about legacy. As far as mine, I would just hope that every player of mine would always say, I don't have a problem with people saying I'm a player's coach. That's usually their teams are usually undisciplined. They're not very tough. They don't perform well under pressure. They're just really popular with their players, right? That's not the way I see that at all. I've always taken great pride in how disciplined my football teams are and how tough they are. But I still love it that every one of my players always says he's a player's coach, because he knows, he's telling me that he acknowledges that I've never, ever overestimated my worth. My job is to make them the very best they can be. And the Lord made them a certain way. And too many times the coaches believe they're the ones that made them. That's my job, to be able to identify what they do well and let them stay in their lane. And it's my job to evaluate what they don't do well, and let's make sure we don't put them in that position. But other than that, it's get out of the way and let your players be players. And I would hope that's what my legacy would be.
So good. I love, and that was what you just said. That was one of the things that I learned from one of my mentors. Like, hey, like, you evaluate them, they see they can't do it. Don't try to make them do something they can't do. Like, that's on you as a coach. Like, that's on me.
Yeah, don't be surprised when you throw a go ball and the kid can't go up and high point it correctly. You should have known that before you ever threw it to him. I don't want to hear you.
I ain't never seen him do that.
Yeah, what the heck? Well, heck, man, why we do it there? Come on.
I love it. I love it. Well, Coach, again, I just want to say as we close, thanks again for taking the time to hang out with me. Before we close, I'd love for you to get an opportunity to share with the audience where they can go follow you and the movement that you guys have going on and go show you some love.
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at Coach Traylor, just COACHTRAYLOR. Follow us on at UTSA football. And we've got a fun deal going here. We open up against Houston. We'll be on the road there at Houston. And, you know, over 40 of our players are from the city of Houston. So a third of our roster is from that. So I know we'll have a lot of guys decide to go back home. And we know the tradition that Houston has. And, you know, they beat us in triple overtime last year. So it'll be a fun, exciting game. And just appreciate you, what you do for kids, and give me the opportunity to be on your podcast. And thank you.
Yes, sir. Again, Coach, and I've said it a couple of times, but I'm going to say it one more time. Rooting for you, Coach. I wish you the best of luck, and God bless you on your journey, and keep doing your thing.
Well, our practices are always open, Chip. Come down here and look at us if you're ever in San Antonio, and thank you, brother.
All right, Coach. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
God bless. Birds up.
Go get it.